Good evening. My name is Dan Gallagher. I'll be the moderator this evening for Smashing ThingLink and Edmodo. One of the benefits of app smashing is the ability to weave tools together to fit your teaching and learning needs. Edmodo is a great way to post digital assignments powered by live, interactive ThingLink images. Tonight, we will explore some examples of ways to use ThingLink and Edmodo to easily post classroom assignments powered by ThingLink interactive images. But before we begin, a little bit about GoToWebinar. Our GoToWebinar dashboard has the opportunity for us to ask some questions of our panelists this evening. So if you have a question, go ahead and post it in the questions section, which I'll be keeping a watch on, and periodically throughout this evening's webinar, I'll be asking those questions so we can find answers. Also, all attendees are in listen-only mode. We also have a back channel discussion using TitanPad. One thing to keep in mind, TitanPad works best using either Safari or Internet Explorer. It has a couple hiccups using Chrome. The link for TitanPad is posted up on the screen, and it also can be found in our chat section. Tonight's host is Susan Oxnavad, who is the ThingLink Education Community Manager. And our panelist this evening is Jody Johnston. She is a curriculum technology specialist from Overland Park, Kansas, who specializes in Web 2.0 tools like Edmodo and ThingLink. She is also the Edmodo administrator in her school district and is an Edmodo certified trainer. She's always looking for new, innovative ways to integrate technology in the classroom. So I welcome our presenter as well as our host tonight, Susan.
Thanks, Dan, and hello, everybody. Let's get my screen up here. There we go. Okay, so I wanted to welcome everybody to this webinar. Thanks for attending. I'm broadcasting from Chicago, where it's really cold and windy, and I'm a little worried about my internet connection, so I hope it don't lose you. But I'm really excited today because we have a wonderful panelist named Jody Johnston, and Jody is not only a ThingLink expert educator, but Jody is also a Edmodo certified administrator and trainer for her district, for her school district, and she's just an expert in both tools. And Jody will tell you herself, ThingLink and Edmodo are her two favorite tools. So we're going to provide you with a nice overview looking at how you can use Edmodo and use ThingLink together, and that's how we're app smashing. And as soon as Jody's done sharing information, I'm going to share my Edmodo page, which has just a few examples, and so you can get to learn a little bit more about ThingLink if you're new to ThingLink as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to change the screen to you, Jody, and let you go ahead and take over. And if you do have questions, I encourage you to write them in the question box in the GoToWebinar panel as well as in the TitanPad. And we'll be sure to be able to answer the questions in the webinar box. It might be a little difficult to get to the TitanPad though for now. So thanks, Jody.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Susan is correct. There isn't anything that plays nicer together than ThingLink and Edmodo. They just are perfect for each other. And it's a wonderful tool to flip or blend your classroom material so that your classroom's open 24/7 and kids can get to the content, teachers can get to the turned in. Paperless turn-in is a wonderful thing. So there's just a ton of things that we can do with the two together. First, I'm going to give you, oops, hold on. Uh-oh, I appear to have locked up. There we go. Do you see the second screen?
Edmodo is a tool for mobile learning.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
So this is just when I do Edmodo trainings, when people, if you've never seen Edmodo before, it's a social learning community. So it looks a lot like Facebook. People will sometimes refer to it as Facebook for education, but it's a completely secure, private platform that you can use with your kids. And I love that quote, education no longer comes in rows and textbooks, but from a combination of sources, which is just so true. If you're not putting sound and animation to something, your kids, you've probably lost them. They're probably, wandering around the room. So most of my samples are going to be geared a little bit more towards elementary because that's something I've been focused on is a pilot program for our district where we're using iPads and computers. So secondary teachers usually get it really fast and they just kind of take off on their own. Elementary, we do a little bit more prompting and helping build the framework for them. So I'm going to use most of my samples for those. But I put the mission up there for the mission for Edmodo is to connect all learners with the people and resources they need to reach their full potential. It's just very intuitive, and once you've played around with it a little bit, you'll see. I mean, you could run your whole classroom on Edmodo. These are just the 4 targets that when people ask why to use it, it's a wonderful way to engage students because you can add all these wonderful other third-party tools, anything that you can attach even from a PowerPoint to a PDF to a wonderful ThingLink embed or a YouTube video. There isn't anything that you can't post in Edmodo as long as the audience has the right software to play that. As long as they've got the right browser, the right flash player, there isn't anything that you can't share. And this is a slide that I use at every training I do. These are all of the things I tell teachers. These just start with any of these that you're already familiar with, and all of them can be embedded or used in Edmodo. We did TAC last night, and that works beautifully in Edmodo. I've always shown ThingLink as one of my top things. Symbaloo, Fokies, and these are just web tools. If I added all the apps that I could smash in to ThingLink and Edmodo, it would take 2 or 3 slides. So it's pretty impressive the amount of content and tools that you can blend in together. This is the slide, and I'm going to get rid of the slideshow and actually show you from the ThingLink site. This is the ThingLink that I created for the latest ThingLink Educator Challenge for app smashing. Is that coming through okay size-wise?
Great. Yes.
All right. So you've probably seen something similar to this out there. When I started looking and going to conferences last year, app smashing was very popular. And the thing is every district is unique. You have different browsers and servers. You're a Google school, you're a Microsoft school, you have iPads and everybody has one-on-one. Or our district has a shared cart model, which is very different. So you kind of have to make your learning tools and your teacher tools personalized to make it, something that's fluid and that teachers can run with it on their own. So ThingLink was perfect. I took all of the apps for this iPad pilot that I considered brainstorming tools. A mind mapping one, Google Docs, Notability is just a fabulous app for note taking, a word cloud maker. So those are things kids can be doing for their research and planning things out. And then I've got this big middle section where I've taken all of the apps that I consider the core basic apps that we're going to use in our pilot. And I always tell teachers just pick one, learn it really, really well, integrate it into your lesson planning, and then move on to a new tool. And what they notice after 2 or 3 weeks of playing with one, that they start to embed together, that you can put 2 or 3 or 4 different apps all into one project, which is amazing if you're working on the SAMR ladder or the 5 E's. The depth and the exploration and the explanation that the kids get to show you what they know, which is the point, right? We want the kids showing us what they've learned. So each one of these has a small description that tells you what works with it. AudioBoo is the one I like to use for audio files. And then if I have a sample, I'm putting little tiny samples. Like this happens to be a ThingLink sample full of not just the picture of the woodpecker. You click it, you hear the woodpecker. You hear the wolf. You hear the owls. You can embed all that content in your ThingLink, and then you can use the other tool to curate the content. Whoops. That is what the ThingLink looks like for that one. Each one of those, when you open them up, would actually play the sound file. Since we don't have shared sound today, we'll just skip over that. But so all those things in iMovie, anybody who uses iPads, you know that you can take 4 or 5 of those different things already on the screen and put them in your iMovie. So unlimited possibilities. But then the important thing is you have to have some way to share it out, especially if you're doing 5e and SAMR. The audience is a big piece, and the kids need to have some place that they can debate, dialogue, critique each other, peer edit, all those wonderful things that we want them to start doing with their work instead of just turning in the old piece of paper. So Edmodo is probably the one I use the most. It's something we use district-wide. Even kindergarten will use it more for a flip the lesson and get mom and dad involved with posting from home, all the way up to high school where they're doing all their assignments and turning things in paperlessly, and sharing and debating amongst the classes. Kid blogs will work. We use Dropbox for sharing files. Padlet is another wonderful one that works with everything. I put my ThingLinks inside a Padlet. I put my Padlet in my Edmodo, and then I let the kids just pick it apart and spit back what they've learned, tell what their favorite pieces are. And then Google Drive. Some districts are going to be all Google, and ours is a little bit of both, so I always make sure I have Dropbox and Google Drive. And I'm going to show just a few samples of how, well, actually, first I think I'll show you my Edmodo page just so you can see it. When you log into Edmodo, it has a running latest post feed, kind of like if you use Twitter or Facebook or any other social learning platform. It's going to just show you who's been talking. So that's just a dialogue of every group I'm in. But it lets you create your own groups. So you can create a group for your homeroom class, for any club, a book club, an after-school thing, the student council, anything you want. And once you create a group, I made one just for tonight to post a couple samples. Once you make a group, it has this handy little group code, and only students I give that code to are invited to be in my class group. So it keeps it completely private. The third grade class doesn't know what the second grade class is working on. So it's a wonderful way for just your class to dialogue and share. And then it's a way to do global collaborative things. You can have pen pal groups and have that group code be you and a teacher in New Zealand that wants to dialogue with your kids. So you and that teacher run the group together, but it's still private. It's just your 20 kids and her 20 kids. So it's a wonderful way to bring groups together, but keep it, private. You don't have to worry that there's an outside person looking at any of the kids' content. It's completely private. But here is a sample I put, and this was an actual sample. I just copied it from a teacher's page, where we said explore the attached ThingLink on the Western region. This was third grade social studies. And it says all the answers to the worksheet can be found somewhere on this ThingLink image. So that's important. It's the same worksheet we would have done any other year, but this is just taking it up a notch. We've made the ThingLink. They're working in groups of 4. I think there's 5 groups of 4 kids. And then they have to reply back on here and say which state they've decided to go deeper in. And then those groups are going to make their own one state ThingLink to then post back. So I'm going to open mine up so you can see how beautiful it looks once it opens in Edmodo. It's going to use the embed screen, so I don't have any distracting ads or anything. I just get my great ThingLink image. And the little eyes, I like to customize my icons with the premium ThingLink. It lets you change the icons if you want. Each of the eye has the state facts sheet. All the others are just pictures of what the landscape is. I have some videos, all kinds of enhancement things, more than they would get just from reading a couple chapters in a book from the library. This is just packed full of good content. So the kids are exploring that. They're going to pick which state they want to do for their project, and I just pretended that Jody, Susan, Bobby, and Andrew have picked California, so they've posted here. And what's beautiful about these is everybody will post. We'll just say Kate, Jack, and Tom choose Colorado. And the minute they hit send, it has in real time posting. Everything is linear, nothing's getting lost, there's no papers, all the communication is taking place on the platform, which is great. And to make a post at the top, it just says type your note here. If you click, it always gives you the option to add a file. So again, PowerPoints, PDFs, any content that you have that you want the kids to open, the links where I would embed my ThingLink like I did at the bottom. And then it lets you have an unlimited library. And that's a great thing these days for free, that it will give you unlimited storage space. And up here at the very, very top, there's a library where you can make your own folders and share them with your kids. So the mechanics of using it with your kids is very simple. It's a basic discussion board with all of these options to put the content out there. Every single thing you do, even a poll, has the reply button at the bottom. Every post at the bottom will have a reply thread, and it keeps it all in order. So the more kids that replied down here, they would just keep building. So that's just a little bit about what the platform looks like for the discussion boards. It also lets you build assignments with a turn-in button, so that way if you need to know exactly what Jack knows, he hits the turn-in button, it comes back privately to the teacher. Discussion board is for everybody. Everybody's talking. And polls are an anonymous, quick assessment, exit ticket, wonderful tool where you can ask a question. The class does it in real time, so it's like having Poll Daddy or something just built right in, which is a powerful tool to have. But I'm going to go back to my ThingLink account and just show you some of the other ThingLinks that we've used in Edmodo. One thing I had to have this year, because I had so many people who were new to it, is I had to make a ThingLink about how to use Edmodo for the students, because kindergarten through 5th grade are doing it at home with mom and dad. So we made this great one that has every single function that you could want to do. How to edit. How does the backpack work, which is the unlimited storage space. How to make my profile picture. So this one ThingLink is a tutorial for everybody. I post it on the teacher's webpage. I put it inside Edmodo. We post it in all these places. So it's fantastic. You can't answer everybody's questions at night when they're working on their Edmodo posts. But if you post something like a ThingLink, it's incredible at how fast it is for the kids to pick up what they need to know. This is a kindergarten class, and they went on a field trip, and they took their iPads with them, and they used the ThingLink app. And so they've got the picture. We embedded little videos of them talking about facts that they learned about the field trip. So we've smashed the camera. We did pictures. We added facts. The ThingLink app is an excellent, and because Edmodo is also portable, you can take that same iPad, they log into Edmodo, they're making a ThingLink even without being online, and when they get back to class, they can post it and finish it and share it out. One of my other favorite things to do is the word clouds. A lot of our buildings are focusing on vocabulary. So this was Charlotte's Web, and so we put AudioBoo links. And I love those because you can have the picture. So this one document has all the vocab and focus words. We've added a Quizlet. We've added book information on the book. And then we've just added information on who everybody is. Even a little video clip from the movie about being the runt. So this we would post in Edmodo, and we would have the kids explore it. They might be filling out a worksheet. They might be using this as a sample, and maybe whatever book the child is reading, this is a great way to turn around and do a book report or a book activity. Each kid can make their own word cloud or their own background picture. Maybe it's an original drawing that the kid has made, and then you use the ThingLink and you put it in Edmodo, and that also becomes a way to share the entire project. So it's like a digital portfolio spot also. So I'll open my Edmodo back up again, but you can see that any file, any link, so gosh, that's just unlimited choices right there. And if one post said each group should reply back and post their Prezi or their ThingLink video or their iMovie link, each kid could just hit reply, hit their link, hit reply, hit their link. It's just unlimited possibilities, and the mechanics are very, very simple. The interface at the top, the buttons, like the library is a book. The home button is a house. It's very, very easy to navigate. And even if you don't use it with your kids, teachers use it just for professional development. The Edmodo ThingLink that I made, for example, if I was just teaching people how to use tools, I could make a group for each training session I had on each individual tool, and I could put the guides and I could put the samples, just unlimited possibilities on the things that you could do for professional development or for building a flipped or blended classroom, even for people as young as kindergarten and first grade. It really works well. The parents are pleased. Posting tutorials and things are awesome, but ThingLink is probably my favorite tool to post in especially elementary because you can pack it with so many possibilities for research, and the kid still feels like they're in control of what they're looking for, but the teacher has very carefully picked out what she's put on the ThingLink, but they still feel like, it's cool. It requires, they get to be on their app, they can be on their mother's phone, they can be on a laptop. Studying your vocab suddenly isn't quite so boring as it used to be when you just took your sheet home. So let's see if people have questions, and then I can show you anything else you want, or we can tweak it any direction we'd like.
We have a couple questions that came in. First question: when your students are using iPads, are they using the ThingLink app, or are they using Safari or another type of web browser and going through the website?
We use both, but in elementary especially, I prefer using the browser, and we put our address for Edmodo, our subdomain address. We made a button on our, you can hold down in Safari and you can say add to my homepage, and it makes what looks like an app button. We do that with Edmodo. In fact, on my ThingLink, that little E is actually a link to the web address because it looks exactly like the computer. So if the teacher's projecting on a teacher station up on the projector and the kids are on an iPad, it mirrors exactly. And I use the app more for secondary because a lot of those kids are bringing your own device and they're using it from their own portable phone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone.
The next question that came in, I had an educator ask, can they join your Edmodo group?
I could, yeah, if you want to. It's DJH B4A. I can, if you post and you are looking for resources, I can send things back. So I could keep this one open. I was just kind of playing around with it today, but I have lots and lots of researches on. I have a whole folder on just ThingLink samples, for example, and an entire folder just for the ThingLink app. So yes, anybody that wants to can join that, and I'll share anything I've got.
Great. And the last question was, would you be willing to share the ThingLink you created about using the Edmodo?
Yes.
I'm getting the link to that right now, and I'm going to be posting that out in the chat section. And I also posted it in the Titan Pad, so everyone has
and
that.
I'll post it on that ThingLink. I'll post it on the group too.
Excellent.
If you, while people are, see, it's just very easy. I'm just going to copy my address. I'm going to go back to Edmodo, and I'm going to pick the link. I'm going to paste that link in there. It'll even name it whatever I named it on the internet, so it'll pull up my ThingLink title.
And I think that was all for questions right now.
And that ThingLink is set that it's remixable, so if I have something in there that's district specific, you could hit the remix button and you could make that your own. It'll look like you made it. That remix button is awesome in a ThingLink.
It definitely makes collaboration easier.
I know. Why recreate the wheel if somebody else has made it? And that's the other thing. If you work with 4 other teachers in your grade level, divide up your content. Everybody make one thing, share it all, then you got 4 times the content.
Great, wonderful, Jody. Well, thank you very much. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us, or should we move on and give?
I think I'm good, and if we have time in the end and there's another question, I'll keep all my things up in case I need to pop back in.
Right. Thank you. You are just an amazing, wonderful resource for all of us, and definitely a leader in the Edmodo community and in the ThingLink community as well. So thank you so much.
It is a fun job.
Great. Okay, so now it's my turn, and I'm Susan Oxnavad, and I am the ThingLink Education Community Manager, and I love ThingLink, and I use it all the time. I'm relatively new to Edmodo, so I think this is really a good opportunity for you to see what you can do just at the beginning, because I just created here, if I'm not sure, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, so here's my Edmodo page, and I just put up a couple of examples and thought of a few ways to use them. I got more ideas from Jody already, of course, but some of the things that I saw Jody doing are definitely the ways I thought I would want to use ThingLink, Edmodo and ThingLink as well. So I'm going to share with you an example that I did. It's an actual student project called Struggle for Justice. And I made it an assignment. Now, I guess I could have just made it a post, but I just actually wanted students to turn something in. So you can see students are going to work in groups to answer the following essential question. How and why did people struggle for justice during the civil rights movement? And so this would be sort of a flipped activity because I'd have them go home. I like the way Jody has her parents working with the kids at home. I think that's a good idea too. And I want the kids to go home and I want them to explore this example that I made. So my answer to the question is the Montgomery bus boycott. And I gave a lot of examples here, and I tried to cover different learning styles by using different types of multimedia. And you can see there's a lot of different icons. And what I try to do when I use ThingLink is help everybody add another layer of understanding to the image so that students can just see what they need and go to it right away. So I've created some custom icons. That's only available in the ThingLink Premium account, but I just love them. So this is a custom icon I made so that my students always know that if I've got a video for them, they can look here, they can click here. Now, since I've done that, there are actually some really nice icons that a movie camera that you could use as well. So you don't have to design your own custom icons, but I like to do that just for the differentiation. So my idea here, we had launched this whole project, and I created this before I was using Edmodo. So I'm seeing now that some of the things that I put on the ThingLink could actually also be just put right in the Edmodo, but I like this the way it is as well. So how and why did people struggle for justice during the civil rights boycott? I explained the project here, and I used Google Docs will now automatically pop up or embed. It's a rich media tag, so it shares right on the screen. So this is just a Google document, and it explains the project to the students. So they would explore this image to see my example, and then they'd go ahead and start the project. So I probably should start there. Let me share with you some of these links. So I've got quotations because that's a Common Core thing, Common Core standard that we pulled out. So students had to find quotations. And here they just typed the quotation on a Post-it note, took a snapshot of it, and added it to ThingLink. If you're using the app, you can just add that right away on the ThingLink. And if you're online, you might need to use another service. You could use Flickr or something else. Just add this in. And then I have the kids expressing their opinions on a Padlet. And I know Jody mentioned Padlet as well. And it's nice to hear that Padlet can be embedded into Edmodo. Here, though, they're just going to go out to the Padlet and tap on it. If you've never used Padlet before, you probably should because it's a great website as well. There's no app, but you can actually pull it up on the Safari of your web browser. And so on Padlet, kids don't even need to have an account. They just click, they double tap, and they just add their ideas. And that supports multimedia too. So I always like to give everybody a chance to speak out. Then I have some videos to provide some background knowledge for the kids. And you'll notice that all of these things are popping up. That's because they're rich media tags, and the rich media tags show up automatically. The way I got this movie is I found it on YouTube, and I copied the link and I pasted it right into ThingLink, and boom, it'll play live. So I'm going to share this one because I don't think there's any sound. And
I left work on my way home.
Okay, there's a little sound there. So, and since we are not sharing sound, as Jody also mentioned, I'll just let you imagine what that movie would be like. But I have a couple of different movies. I always like to include these because, you know, not all students can read, and not all students have the background knowledge that we want them to have. But when you include things like this video, they can catch up. So that's why I wanted this to be a flipped lesson. I also have here on this icon SoundCloud, and I wish you could hear this. Maybe you'll explore it later. It's the Freedom Singers, and this is just, again, I went into SoundCloud, I found this, and I copied the link and pasted it into ThingLink, and it'll play right here. But we're not sharing sound. So let me just move on. But that's a really nice feature because, of course, the civil rights music was very important during the civil rights time, and so that would be a really good answer to the question. I also I had that twice. I also have a timeline. This is just a link to a timeline that I created in another program, and I believe that's called Dippity. It's a timeline, and it's not a rich media tag. So when you click on it, kids would go out to it and they'd need to come back here, but still it's worth it. And it opens up in a new tab. So you can create just a link to anything on the web. And then I had some more music, and this is actually a jukebox from pbs.org. And so there are several songs here. Let's see. So I'd have them explore this at home, learn about the Montgomery bus boycott, come to class prepared with some knowledge, because now we've provided them with differentiated resources so they all can bring something to the table into the discussion. And then we're going to start our project. And I explained it in this Google Doc. And then the second step, I use these icons just to help kids, know what to do and follow along. So the second step would be to assign them all jobs, and the jobs are based on their learning styles as well. And it can accommodate, it makes each student accountable for their own work, for creating their own work. There's no other copy editor but you in your group. And so I match them to their learning style. So the copy editor would be somebody who's a good reader, who's a good researcher, who's a good writer. Copy editor would follow these steps. Now this is created in a Google slide. So if I click this button, you can go to the big slide if you need to see it in a larger form. But I find that kids really want to have that information right on the page, and clicking out is just an extra step for them to get lost. So I really love the way Google Slides embeds. We have all kinds of jobs here for different types of learners. The graphic designer obviously is the one who is going to learn from finding images, learn about it from finding images, and then create this nice collage. Then I've got a multimedia engineer. Now this is an interesting job because I usually assign this to the student who doesn't have the background knowledge. This is the student who would actually find the video to put in the ThingLink that the group creates, because the group would create something like this, like my example. So they're finding videos, and as they're finding videos, they're learning. And so they're satisfying their learning requirements as well, just in a different way. So I have all kinds of different jobs, and I sometimes customize those to the group. The audio engineer is the one who's going to find the music or make the music. So that's a really great job. Because you can make music and record it in something like Audio Boom or SoundCloud, and then put it right on here very easily. And then I always have a project manager, and the project manager is the one who sort of oversees everything. So in this group of 5 people, the project manager would have to know a little bit about everything. And it's not necessarily the smartest student in the group. It's the student who's always out of his seat and always trying to do something else, always, testing the waters. So I like to keep them really busy. The project manager, facilitates the whole project and, kind of leads the way, needs to learn a lot about each of the different jobs and helps get it put together. Now, what I really like about this style of learning is this also prevents too many questions. This allows the teacher to circulate the room and work with the groups without just being bombarded by millions of questions, because the project manager is going to sift through those questions. And if the project manager can't answer the questions, that's when they bring that question to the teacher. So the teacher isn't bogged down with all kinds of questions. He or she can just reteach on the spot and talk to kids and inspire them. So I really like that. Now, the last part of this is the inbox, and I like to use a Google form for the inbox because kids can turn it in right on the spot. They can fill it in here. It's embedded. And so they can turn in their project. And what I like to do is have kids copy and paste the link from the ThingLink that they create. They can find that under the share button. They click that. They just take this link here, copy it, and then when I go back to my inbox, let's see, I can pop it right here. And so then the teacher gets a spreadsheet with a list of all of the links, easy access to all the links, and so they can quickly grade the project as well. Now, when Jody was showing us the Edmodo, when I was exploring it myself, I know that those links could be popped right into the comments section as well. So that's an alternate way to do this. Nice to have lots of different options and different ways to do things. That's why I love ThingLink, and that's why I love Edmodo, because as Jody showed us, we can work with the apps that we're familiar with or the web tools that we're familiar with, and then we can do great things with them that we never could have imagined or never could have done without technology. So that's my struggle for justice. And I'm going to pause for a minute and see if anybody has questions about that, and then I'll go on and show an entirely different example where I used ThingLink for video. So are there any questions about that project?
The end of the project you just showed, you talked about different options, and that actually was a great segue into this question. one person would like to know, do you set up individual accounts for your students, or do you set up like an account for the whole class and everyone goes into that one account?
Okay, and so I guess you're talking about ThingLink for the accounts.
Yes.
Because obviously you just use the group code to join Edmodo. Yes, so ThingLink setting up accounts is if students have Google accounts, they're Google schools, that's the easiest way to set up an account. They can just click the button on the login screen and get an account that, use their Google account. And then once they get there, they're going to join my group. They're going to join my class. So as a teacher, I can have many, many groups, and I can have, or several different groups, and I can divide it up. So what I would do in this particular case is I would have the 5 kids in one group join a group. So they're all working together. And I'd have different groups so that I'd have, maybe 5 groups in the class, 5 groups of 5 to cover all the 25 kids. Once they're in a shared group within my account, they can do that by just using that code that we generate now. That's a new thing. If you're a ThingLink user, that's brand new. You can invite students by a code. So once they get that code and they join the group, then we're all working together. And it's almost like we're sharing an account because we can share icons. So if I have a premium account and I make custom icons, all of my students can share those. And students can make custom icons and share them with each other. The other really nice thing is then they can all tag the same image. So there are permissions on ThingLink images. Most of my ThingLink images, I don't want anybody to edit. Those are mine. But I also want to collaborate sometimes. And so that's how you can control the permissions. In my general account, I just say only I can edit. But then in my little groups, I give permissions to everybody. So as Jody was mentioning, Edmodo can be used for collaboration, collaborative project globally. So can ThingLink, because I can have people join my group from near and from far, and then they can all just open up the settings so that they can all tag the image together. So that's why a project like this works really, really well in the ThingLink classroom. So what you would do is you'd have the kids join the group, and then you as the teacher would also sign into the group, and then you're all working together. So it's a really nice way. And student accounts, if a teacher has a premium account, all the students benefit from it. So students don't need a premium account as well. Students just have a free sign up, and they can use their teachers' icons and things.
A great discussion question was posted on TitanPad talking about group projects. What do you do when you get kids who don't do their fair share? Does that mean the other kids in the group pick up the slack? This person that posted knows it's unique from teacher to teacher, but just was looking for opinions.
Well, in this kind of an activity, it would also be guided by a rubric, and I sort of think I showed you that there. Let's see, there is a rubric, and so everybody's got to fulfill, the pieces to the rubric. So here we have a whole rubric, and there are pieces that belong to each and every student. So the whole group would get a rubric grade, but I'd also give a participation grade. And every teacher is unique in how they get every student to participate. But I can tell you that if the jobs are matched to their learning styles, and if the project is truly differentiated, and in this case, motivated by an essential question, then everybody can successfully do it. That's different than students being required to write a 5-page paper when they don't have the skills they need to do it. So in this case, they've got everything they need, and they can do it at home, they can do it at school. And I would think that the group members the project manager would also, help motivate students to get it done, but they'd all get their own individual grade. And if they're working for a grade, that would be motivating. Sometimes we can't get kids to produce no matter what we do, but it's not like everybody just gets one big grade. I don't really believe in that. I think we all do our own work, and we contribute to the project that couldn't be that as good if we weren't working in a group.
Great. That takes care of the questions we have right now.
Great. Okay, so the next thing that I want to share with you is ThingLink for video, because this is something that's a little known fact. I have many samples here, but let's go to this one. So ThingLink for video is relatively new. We did a beta testing this summer, and people like Jody and Dan all beta tested it for us, and then now it's available. It is only available with the premium account. but if you have a premium account, I think you're going to absolutely love it. So ThingLink for Video allows you to take a video. A YouTube link works very well, and there are other. There's Bright Cove that you can use if your district blocks video, and it allows you to take a ThingLink video and copy the URL and paste it into ThingLink, and just like you tag an image, you tag a video. So I can add more information, I can expand upon the knowledge, and I can put my own, I can make it personally meaningful for me and for my students if there's something that I want to cover. So there's a whole bunch of videos out there, and this opens up the door to many, many possibilities. Now, I like to use ThingLink for Video because, for one, it will tell me, I can be prepared ahead of time so that it tells me when I want to stop and have a discussion question, but also I can put this in something like Edmodo and kids can watch it at home. And it's not like I'm saying just watch this video and tell me what you learned. I can have guiding questions. I can do whatever I want with it. So I'm going to show a little demo of it, but again, without the sound, it's kind of hard to do. This is a very short video that I found on plate tectonics. You can see it's only 1 minute and 14 seconds long. So when I play it, you can see right there that immediately this tag pops up. And this is a ThingLink tag that I added. So I want students to think about what causes the continents to move. That's my guiding question. Now, it will just stay up there and the video will keep playing. I don't have to stop. But if I want to click on it and stop, then there's going to be a suggestion from me. And here I'm just leading off the video telling them to take notes, because in this particular case, I was wanting them to use the note-taking app and explore that. So then we keep going and we watch the video and it keeps playing. Each of these little lines that you see at the bottom here are tags that I've added. So when I go here, this particular movie talked about the Earth's layers, but it's so short that I thought that the students needed to learn more. So I linked to some information. And here we have a read more. So we're going to go out and we're going to read all about this. I thought this was a really great resource. It's taking advantage of that. And let me go back. Let's see. I might need, yeah. And so then I can go back to the video after they've read. And then there's all kinds of tags. You can actually add a thing link that's interactive to this video so that your audience can stop and explore. I use this for professional development a lot as well. But the nice thing about that is they have all the resources they need. So if they're just watching the video very quickly, they can go back and explore. Now here in this part, the Earth's crust was just mentioned, and I thought, boy, we don't know anything about the Earth's crust. So I have this really nice diagram here that, kids can label and look at, and it's labeled, so it's just a little something more to explore. And then you can keep going through. There's lots and lots of possibilities. Last night we did a webinar on TAC and ThingLink, and we found out, I discovered that when you put a TAC website in there, just the link from a TAC, it displays big and beautiful, and so you have this wonderful ThingLink inside of your video. So that's a great thing to explore. I think I want to come down to the end, exit tickets. So I'm a really big fan of using exit tickets, and you'll notice those in almost all of my ThingLinks. And so here I put the exit ticket right here. So when I talked about using Edmodo and using ThingLink as a flipped lesson, this is what's going to provide the accountability. So students aren't just watching the video, but they have to actually do the exit ticket. And there's just some basic questions about the video. So I know they've done it, and I can set on my notification so that I get a notification when everybody's turned it in, and then I can make sure that everybody's done their homework. And I also can field the questions that are coming out, because I leave an empty space there. So when students are watching this at home, if they have questions or comments, they can connect with me that way, and I can kind of adjust my teaching practices for the next day in the classroom. Now, what's really nice about that also is there are always some kids who aren't going to speak. They're just not going to be the kids who offer comments or anything in the class. They're going to let somebody else do it. And so with Edmodo and with that Google form as well, you're giving them another chance to speak. You're giving them another opportunity to express themselves where they have time to think and formulate a question, instead of just saying the kid who thinks the quickest gets to ask the question. So that is also another nice way to differentiate your learning. So ThingLink for Video is great. Let me go back to that real fast and just show you a little demo of that, because Oh, let's see. So I can't show you the demo right inside of here, but it's just like ThingLink. You click, you add your icon. If you have custom icons, they'll show up in ThingLink for video as well. And then you put your question on and you set the duration. Maybe you want it to last for 5 seconds, or maybe you want it to last for 15 seconds. So it's a really nice way to dig a little deeper into a video that you found, and because we're all sharing resources. So in this particular case, I would just want them to do this at home and do the
And that's
exercise.
a great segue to one question.
Great.
Someone wanted to know if you would be willing to share the ThingLink for video on plate tectonics that you created.
Yes. So being a newer member, let's see. If I share it, well, I'm a member of this ThingLink group, and I'm going to see if Jody's can help me with this. Jody, would I just share it to the ThingLink group?
Just take the share link from the video and use a new note and use the link button.
Oh, okay, great.
It's
All right.
so simple.
Yes. Okay, so that makes sense to me. I'm not going to try it live online, but I will do it immediately after the webinar, I promise. And if I can't, I'm sure Jody will help me, so thanks. Okay, so that brings me to this, and this is something new for me as well. ThingLink has communities, and so Edmodo has communities. There's lots of communities, and one of the communities is ThingLink. And so if you haven't yet joined the ThingLink community, we're going to encourage you to do so. I've just gotten access to the ThingLink community to post in the ThingLink community as well, so I'll be exploring that probably over the weekend a little more. This is my personal account, but I will be posting from ThingLink as well. So if you want to find the ThingLink community, you can just go right here at the top. You can see the communities down here. These are my communities. Again, being a new user, I don't have too many, but I can search for them as well. And so these are my communities here. Let me show you an easier way to search. We just practiced this. If I type in ThingLink, I'm going to come to all of these people. And here's Bobby. He's a ThingLink community educator, and I think he's in the audience as well. Shout out to Bobby. He's also an Edmodo certified trainer as well, so he's somebody who you should follow on Edmodo. But here's the ThingLink Publishers group. So then I can go here, I can view the group. Let me give that a shot. And I know there's something from Jody at the top. And then you can join the group that way. And so then everybody can get the ThingLink posts. So I think that's a good suggestion. And I hope people in the audience will join that. Let's see. So I'm now going to go back home, and we wanted to keep this webinar under an hour. And I thank you for all of your patience. I just had a couple more things that I'm going to share. So first of all, I'm going to share the App Smash challenge that I made, because we're doing all of this as I did the wrong one. So that's okay. We're doing all of this as the apps, part of the App Smash month. I guess I did it twice. So here it is. So app smashing with ThingLink is a wonderful thing because, of course, you can do anything you want. You can share it in any way. And ThingLink was made to connect with other web tools and other apps. So it works really, really well. And the whole idea of App Smash Month at ThingLink, we decided to celebrate it, is because we had these webinars and these connections with people like TAC and Edmodo that we're trying to make some better connections with. So we thought this would be a good idea. And I wanted to invite everybody to the App Smash Challenge if you don't know anything about it. This is a ThingLink channel that I created for the App Smash Challenge. And on the first page, you can learn a little more. You can sign up through your Google form right here. And I'm not going to wait for that one to load, but you can, let's see, another icon. Let's see, you can view our sample, which is right here, and you can learn more about it. And if you clicked here, you'd go to the ThingLink blog and you would see the App Smash challenge that we have for this month. Jody shared hers with you, and there are several more. That's a growing channel every day. What we're asking teachers to do is, just for the sheer joy of learning and sharing, is to create an app smash out of a ThingLink and then submit it. And the idea behind this is we're going to teach you how to do it every step of the way. So if you've not used ThingLink before, you can learn how to use ThingLink by doing this. There's lots of directions, and it's a pretty thorough post. So you could go to the ThingLink blog and take the App Smash Challenge. If you've already smashed an app and you've got a ThingLink already done, you could just go ahead and submit it. Or you could just explore these channels. So these images that are on a channel. And again, I collected them with a Google form that you saw there, and I just copy the link and paste them into the channel, and boom, I've got a channel right away. Very, very, very easy to do. It's just a click of a button, and then they add to my channel. So here we have some. This one was made by Lori Campbell. These are just really inspiring to me because there are so many apps and so many ideas and so many ways to use them. And all of the teachers who are sharing these app smashes are inventing. They're reinventing learning, and they're making it more meaningful and more exciting. I think to repeat something that Jody said, she said, if you're not using multimedia and music, the kids are probably just wandering around the room. If this is exciting stuff, why not engage them in the learning? So here are some of the examples. Like I said, this one was from Lori Campbell. Let's see, this one is, the name is covered and I can't remember right now, so I apologize. This is Dan's. Dan, our webinar moderator, made this one, and I love the custom icons. I've heard a lot of great comments about these custom icons that he put up. And we have one from Sue Fitzgerald. She's also a ThingLink expert educator. And this is Jody's, I believe, and this is mine. And I got really excited because I learned how to use Explain Everything and ThingLink together. So if you're a big Explain Everything user like I am, it's a great app. Check this out because you can actually pull up a ThingLink in the Explain Everything screen, and the kids can record it as they share their ThingLink. So that's a great way to do that. And this new one just came in from Jamie Forche today, and she's also a ThingLink expert educator. This is really nice, famous monuments of the ancient world. So I think there are a few more that I'm going to be adding. That's going to be continuously updated all throughout the month of November, and then we're going to share them in a webinar like this, an informal webinar where everybody gets about 5 minutes to share their app smash. And so that will be on December 9th. So I wanted to just share that with everyone and invite you to join and to try it, or at least to learn from the others who have done that. And the final thing I wanted to share with you, if there are no questions about those, is just a thank you. In here, I've put one last ThingLink in. It's just a thank you for coming to the webinar tonight. And if you're interested in ThingLink Premium, you can explore this image and you can find out more. And you can also get a discount for 20% off. So ThingLink Premium is only $35 a year. And with the 20% off, it turns out to be $28 for the year. So, and that's for you and for your students to share. So if you like some of the features like ThingLink for video or custom icons, or one other amazing feature is the ability to replace images so that you don't have to start over from scratch again, then you might want to check out ThingLink for video. But anyway, that's just a thank you for coming to the webinar. And I'm going to work after we get done to try to add my things to my links like this one to the ThingLink Edmodo community. And if there are no other questions, we should probably say our goodbyes.
We have 2 questions that came in.
Okay.
One is, one person missed, how do you get to a channel?
A ThingLink channel. Okay, so I'm going to switch web browsers here because I'm signed in on Google Chrome, but I know better than to try to use it for a webinar, but I'm just going to use it right now. So let me show my doc, get my Google Chrome back up. Here it is. There it is. Okay, so this is me on ThingLink. And these are all of my images. You can see all the App Smash images. So the question was, how do I add it to a channel? So let's say I know about, well, let me go in and get that links from the form. So I'm going to now go into my Google Drive, and I'm going to grab a form that has links to some ThingLinks. Oops, that's the wrong account. And so what you do is you just copy and paste the link, get to a link, and then you can add it to a channel. So, pardon my slowness here. All right, so here we go. So these are people who have submitted to the App Smash Challenge. You can watch me do this live and online, and I'm going to go ahead and take this one here. So see the link, I'm just going to click on it in my Google form that you saw before, and when I get there, it'll load. I can view it, and if I want to add it to a channel, this is just the most amazing thing. If I want to add it to a channel, I go to the bottom of the image. This is a really large image, but when I put it in a channel, the image is available. Okay, so this one is not, oh, here we go. Okay, so at the bottom of every image, you'll see add to channel. So when I go like this, add to channel, I then select my channels. I happen to have a lot of channels, and so I would put it in the App Smash channel. Now I have that one in there, so if I push done, it'll say you can only add to the channel once. I actually like that feature. It keeps me from adding duplicates if I've lost my place. I can also create a new channel right here. So maybe I want my new channel to be Edmodo, and then I create it, and then I can add any examples that are in Edmodo to that channel. So it's just really the click of a button, clicking on a link and clicking on the button. It's very, very, very nice feature. And as long as I'm here on ThingLink, I'm going to show you that replace image feature as well, because I just talked about it and I think it's way better to share. So let's say I have this explain everything image here. I'm going to go down. Here it is. So I have this explain everything image here. And let's say I made a mistake or there's something I want to change next year. Maybe it looks a little different. And it's not on the link, but it's on the basic image. What I can see here is that I've taken a picture for the basic image of the explain everything screen. And as they update, maybe these tools on the side would be different. So maybe I'd want to replace it with the current tools that I could tag. Here I have tags on some of the different tools. So instead of having to recreate everything, I just fix the image and I choose replace image, and I can upload a new image and all of my tags are still here. So the only thing I have to do is change the tags that might be outdated. That's just an amazing feature. And another feature here as well, as long as I'm here, is the ability to add customized text. Here you can see I have a heading, and so I've used a different text and I can also use bolding to just make my words stand out a little more. So that's another feature.
Excellent.
Great.
The last question that came in, and Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, they want to know the code for the Edmodo group, and I believe it's DJHB4A.
That is correct.
Great.
I'm going to join that group right now too. So,
and if someone can't find it, if they send me like a Twitter message or something, I could send it to them that way too.
Great. Great, thanks. And we're also going to be sending a follow-up for everybody, just if you want to look at this webinar again. The video should be ready sometime before next week. I have a couple of videos to work on, and we'll be sending that to you right through the GoToWebinar email that you signed up with. It's just will auto-generate. So in there we can put some information as well, like that code and also our Twitters again. Great. So if there are no more questions, then I want to thank
That answers everything.
Yeah, thank you, Jody, so much for sharing all your knowledge and all of your expertise.
You're welcome. I completely enjoyed it.
Great, and thank you, Dan, for being for moderating, and thank you to the audience for participating on this cold evening in Chicago.
Thank you.
So thank you. Good night.